Welcome to Beyond the Money with Jackie Campbell. Jackie is a certified financial planner, CPA, personal financial specialist, and founding partner of Campbell Company Wealth Advisors and CPAs.
I'm always a firm believer that prior planning pays, and you're never going to get to something if you don't even know where you're at and what path you need to take to get there.
Get more at mycampbellandco.com. Now, because there's more to life than just finances, let's go Beyond the Money.
And we invite you to reach out at any time this weekend. If you hear anything on this weekend show, that number is 352-251-1015. You need some clarity, ready to get serious about your retirement strategy. Again, 352-251-1015. Welcome out to Beyond the Money Radio and the Beyond the Money podcast with Jackie Campbell, all representing Campbell Company Wealth Advisors and CPAs. My name is Mark Owens, and Jackie, we've got a couple of big confetti moments for you and for the team. What's going on?
Yeah, some great ones. Well, first of all, one of my best friends, Monica Haberlin Wall.
We love her.
One of my business partners, been part of Campbell Company for 25 years, and she has now passed her Series 65. So she's got her next milestone, and
I love it.
Being a retirement planner. So super excited for her, and yeah, Monica is just great. So if you've been in the community for a long time, I'm sure you've heard Monica's voice on the Beyond the Money show and seen her on some of the TV series that we were on a few years ago.
That's fantastic. And listen, that is no small feat either. That is, in your industry, a lot of studying. Like, we think we get school behind us. We won't ever have to take real tests again. No, this is a real test. It involves a lot of work. It can be very stressful for some people, but congratulations to Monica. We invite you to either go to the website, mycampbellandco.com, or follow the team across social media. And if you feel up to it, just send her a little congratulations. Just put a little note on the homepage on Facebook and just say congratulations, Monica, because it's a really big deal for her. And speaking of college, you had the opportunity to visit your alma mater.
I did, University of South Florida, and I was asked to come in and be a mentor at one of the clubs there. It's a finance club. They have their whole sorority name, but I don't remember what that is. But but it's basically the accounting and the finance majors. And what a great group of people. I don't know, there was maybe 35, 40 students there. And, honestly, Mark, when I went to college, I couldn't wait to get in and out, right? I had a good commute down to the Tampa and St. Pete campus. It was a good hour each way. So I was, hurrying up, going to class, studying in between, and then driving back home and trying to beat traffic as much as I could. So, I was working when I was in college. So, already married and, then had a family right after. So, I just never really had that college campus life. But it was such a full circle moment to sit in the parking lot of what used to be called the Sun Dome at USF. And, that's grown, but, that's where I graduated from my whole son ago, 35 years ago. So, pretty awesome experience. Great, smart generation coming up. And I love mentoring and kind of giving some of that hard-won wisdom to the next gen, on what I've seen and the hard experiences that I've gone through and seeing the whole profession go through. So super excited about that. And I'm going to continue doing some mentoring there.
A couple of years ago, I went and spoke to my communications class. I went to a small college in North Georgia, and talking to the kids, and I say kids because my biggest takeaway is how young they looked. And it was a little depressing, but it was inspiring because they were all full of energy and excitement for, the world of communication. I'm like, oh my God, you're children.
I know, but close your eyes and you're just the same age as they are, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, just a great thing. And I don't know. I think as you get older, you look at a lot of things differently, right? You're reflecting back. You kind of get to pick and choose. That's the great thing about being older is you don't realize all the bad that's going on because you're able to pick and choose what you remember. And I try to remember the good. So making a confetti moment out of that, just, kind of, wishing that I had known some of these things that I know now 20, 30 years later, earlier, right? The sooner you can have that hard-won wisdom, the better. And, that's just one of the many, many great things. Our team, I am so proud of our team here at Campbell Company. We have several that are, taking examinations and truly up in their game so that they can bring a greater value to our clients, and that full 360-degree retirement plan, retirement roadmap that we have at Campbell Company. I mean, you really have to know all these different parts and aspects of someone's financial life. So super proud of them, and more information to come on that. But definitely a lot of confetti lately. And I have one more.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful, wonderful client that celebrated her 90th birthday, and she came in the office the day before her birthday, and we had confetti and we had cake, and we all love her because she brings in fresh baked goods to us. So, she is definitely a fan favorite for everyone. As soon as we hear her voice, everybody's like, "What'd you bring today?"
I love that. That is one thing I love, and you'll learn when you start working with the team at Campbell Company, is we celebrate the confetti moments in life. The small things, if it's a kid or a grandkid's graduation, if it's a milestone moment for you as well, if it's a milestone birthday, there's nothing, and Jackie, I'm speaking for you here, but I've heard you say it before, there's nothing you love more than getting the physical invitations or the evites to retirement parties. These are all confetti moments that you love to celebrate at Campbell Company.
They really are. I mean, Mark, if you think about it, many people in my generation, I'm a Gen X, but the baby boomers, all the generations coming behind. I mean, I don't know. There's my grandkids, I think, are the Alpha generation. I'm not even clear on what all that is.
Yeah.
But
I'm calling it the scrolling generation.
Exactly. Yes. Well,
all they do is scroll.
They're going to definitely be the AI generation.
Yep.
But just all these generations, and most people that I know, they started work at 12, 13, 14 years of age, even if it's part-time over the summer. So you have people that work 30, 40, sometimes even longer in their lives. And then, that switch, that big transition to, not working and now starting to spend what you have worked so hard to save. You
That's
got
right.
to the point that your money is compounding for you, your money is working for you so that you don't have to. But for many people, it's a mindset, right? Retiring from something and knowing having the freedom to retire to what? What are you retiring to? And if you haven't thought about that and considered that, that's definitely a big emotional swing for many people, but it's a big part of it. So I am always so thrilled when someone is retiring from something. I had one of my relatives that sent a notice that they're officially retiring from law enforcement, and those are really, really great dates for me as well. I love our first responders, and so grateful that they actually get to retire and do a second act and figure out what they want to do next.
We invite you to spend some time at mycampbellandco.com. Again, mycampbellandco.com. From the homepage, you can meet the entire team at Campbell Company Wealth Advisors and CPAs. There are multiple locations up and down the Nature Coast, so you can find the location that fits you the best. And we invite you to send the team a note. If you have a question on something you hear from this weekend's show, you have a concern, you want to schedule that initial consultation, or again, send Monica a congratulations celebrating her confetti moment. Again, mycampbellandco.com. And Jackie, there was a fascinating article from AARP magazine, and it was basically titled, How Older Americans Embrace the Joys of Living Alone and Embracing Their Independence. In this article, it stated that 36% of adults over the age of 50 are divorced. 50% of women over the age of 70 are widowed. Every week here on Beyond the Money Radio and Beyond the Money podcast, we talk about serving families. But it's not lost on us, the divorcees, the widows. You work with those individuals, those adults, every day at Campbell Company.
Absolutely. I mean, you are your own person, right? Whether you come with a partner, whether you come with a family, that you're trying to be mindful of and take care of for that legacy planning, it really doesn't matter. It's just, what are you bringing? What have you saved for retirement? What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? I don't know that I've ever heard that solo adult comment before, but I just refer to you as a person, right? You as an individual, and the interesting thing, Mark, that I have seen over the past 30 plus years, I was a math nerd, right?
So, I love it, and I love you for that.
And when I was on the math team in high school, I really didn't know. I thought it was all about trig and solving problems and competition and, going to the different colleges to test, against other students. And, but what I didn't realize that that actually was part of what set me up to recognize patterns. Whether you're an individual, whether you're a couple, whether you are a business owner, whether you have a family of 2, 5, or 20, it doesn't really matter, right? There's patterns. And over the past 30 years, I have watched individuals, families, and business owners, and those patterns are pretty consistent no matter how much money somebody has saved for retirement or how little, or if they have a pension or don't have a pension. But it's definitely the same order of operations. It's tying all those things together. And I guess one of the things that, I've learned years ago, I do an integrated financial planning, right? With the Retirement 360 roadmap. It's looking all the way around you, whether you're 1 or whether you're 2 or a family of 5, doesn't really matter. It's about your one financial life. We all have one financial life. We don't have 5. We don't have 3 different advisors, so that makes 3 financial plans and 3 financial lives. We don't have our tax return prepared by somebody who isn't even talking to those financial advisors to make sure that they're all coordinated and paying the least amount of taxes legally possible. And your estates, whether you're single or whether you are a family or a business owner, again, it's about having an estate plan that's going to tie all those things together, but one financial life. And I really and truly enjoy, helping someone look at their patterns. What have you been doing? What are you currently doing? What are you trying to accomplish, and where are you headed? And what is the best order of operations to tie it all together? Get one nice, neat, round puzzle put together instead of all these accounts that we've collected and snatched and grabbed along the way through our working years. But having that one financial life, that is our goal here at Campbell Company. And it doesn't matter if you're a solo adult, if you're a couple, if you, have a family that you're trying to leave a legacy for, multiple generation planning, whatever that is, have someone, a team that's going to help you coordinate your one financial life. And that is our goal, our mission here at Campbell Company, to help as many people and families that we can be the hero of their own financial story. And I think it all starts with looking at your plan as one financial life.
That number to reach out to Jackie Campbell and the team at Campbell Company, 352-251-1015. She mentioned it a couple of seconds ago, the 360-degree retirement roadmap. It's the opportunity to sit down with Jackie, start building upon your plan, or maybe you're just getting started. And if you've saved at least $500,000 or more for your financial future, that could be spread across a 401k, a savings. You're lucky to have a pension. That's really where the power begins, to start building upon the gains in your retirement portfolio. If you've saved that $500,000 or more, that initial consultation, that retirement roadmap, no cost, no obligation to you. Again, that number, 352-251-1015, or online at mycampbellandco.com. You mentioned a couple of seconds ago about people having like multiple advisors as they're putting their financial life together. What are the dangers in having multiple people working on one plan?
Well, because everyone only sees what they see. Other advisors do not want the responsibility, and they do not do true financial planning where they're looking at all of those things in a retirement plan. As a CFP, then that's the reason I became a certified financial planner, is because I saw personally the frustration of the lack of coordination and that lack of integrated planning from professionals that I worked with, that I would refer clients to, or they would refer clients to me. And I saw the results of that. And I saw the results and the benefits of those that had almost like a family office atmosphere or feel to it, right? Like having that coordinated planning. And, I'm not a licensed attorney. I can't do all these things. I'm not a certified valuation analyst when somebody gets ready to sell their business, but I certainly know the best ones in the area, and I certainly work with them and know how to help create that business to retirement plan, just like an individual working for a retirement plan, a transition plan from working to retirement. They're all very, very similar, and the patterns are so familiar. It doesn't matter what generation that you grew up, or when you're retiring. It's really the same order of operations. And that's why I became a CFP to begin with. And yes, I guess my math nerdiness kind of helped me see things in a different light.
I love that you're a math nerd. Sometimes you make fun of yourself. No. If I have somebody working on my financial future, I'm good. I want a math nerd in my corner, Jackie.
But I talked with someone. Thank you, I appreciate that, Mark. But I talked with someone just not long ago, and they were saying, "Oh, well, that's an account that I keep with my advisor when I was working with the school system." And oh, well, how long have you been retired? Oh, 6 years. Well, how long has it been since you've talked with him? Well, probably since I retired 6 years ago. Well, a lot's changed. A lot's changed in your life. A lot's changed in the stock market. A lot has changed in your income needs, inflation. I mean, it's just so many different things. And coordinating your beneficiaries. I mean, that's something that, it's one of my pet peeves. I see it often. If you're paying an attorney to create a trust for you, why are your assets not titled in the trust? Why have they not gone that extra step or two, which is tedious, which is important, but it's the most important thing. It's like a parachute, and you don't know when you're going to need that parachute. So why would you keep an account with somebody that you worked with 6 years ago when your life is here and now in Florida, completely different than your working years? It's just like me comparing my life now to 35 years ago when I was a college student. A lot of life has happened in those 35 years, and we're all basically the same. It's just we're leading different lives. So why not have somebody kind of going to be in the middle of it and be your cheerleader, kind of pulling all those things together?
How could you say college 35 years ago? You're only 28 years old. How is that even possible, Jackie Campbell?
But I can't lie. Right? Because honesty
Right.
is definitely a value for me. And I can do the math, and I'm a math person. So it's hard to say 30 years ago when I know it was really 35. So I'm like, those are hard things to say out loud. But that's
well,
fine.
When it comes to math, the weight on my license has stayed the same over the past 15 years. The weight on the scale hasn't. So that is one that I'm going to continue that lie. I'm going to hang on to that one.
Honestly, mine still says I'm 5'7". I'm not 5'7" anymore. So I don't know what happens, but somehow, we kind of shrink down a little bit as we get a little bit older. So, but we'll take it. Whatever.
Right.
Just
I'll take
details. My eyes are still
minor details. Just minor details. 352-251-1015. Again, 352-251-1015. We have a representative standing by right now to talk to you. Get you on the calendar to meet with Jackie and the team at one of the multiple locations of Campbell Company across the Nature Coast. And even this weekend, and we get this every weekend, even if you just need to make the phone call, 352-251-1015, let it ring and then hang up so you lock the number in. And then call back first of next week when you have a couple more minutes on your time. You give a little more information. That's perfectly acceptable as well. But if it's on your mind, we invite you to reach out. 352-251-1015 or mycampbellandco.com.
I do have one question. Is your hair color still on your driver's license?
I don't have any hair. Is it? Hold on. I got to find my wallet. You know what? Is bald a hair color? Is clear?
I just thought about that. I'm like, is that even on there anymore? I don't know, but
I don't think it is. I hope not, because if it says hair on mine, it'll just say shiny. I don't know if that's a glaring bald spot. That's what we got. Hey, Jackie, I want to go back to this article here for a couple of minutes from AARP about how older Americans embrace the joys of living alone and embracing independence. And something that I saw that could be a little concerning is that who solo adults turn to for help or guidance. And almost 60% of adults in this survey said they turn to friends for financial help or financial guidance. That can be dangerous, and correct me if I'm wrong, because everybody's plan is different.
Well, it is. And, you might be fortunate enough to have somebody who is very wise and really great at saving and investing. And maybe they've kind of gone down that path a little bit ahead of you with the retirement transition and, getting their affairs in order, their estate plan, their tax planning. They're just, maybe, but you may have an Uncle Eddie, right? So, from Family Vacation, you never know, what experience somebody truly has, because most people, I find, do not tell you the truth. Only a CPA, a certified financial planner, and maybe a doctor or a priest really and truly understand and see what somebody's life is really, really and truly like. So, I would say, use caution, because, most people who go to the casino, they tell you about their wins. They don't tell you about their losses. So, be mindful, be careful with that, and get a fiduciary and a fiduciary is someone who has a duty of care. They have a responsibility based on their licenses, based on their experience and examination. It's not just somebody who uses the word fiduciary and fiduciary role and responsibility as a loose term. It's one that somebody that truly takes that seriously. And to me, you don't need a license, and you shouldn't have to have some sort of compliance agency showing you what you should and shouldn't do. So be mindful. There's no fiduciary responsibility, duty active care, or anything like that from a friend or a neighbor.
I feel like the casino comment was directed right at me there, Jackie Campbell. That felt a little
yeah,
personal
everybody who
on
ever
that
goes to the casino knows I was talking to them.
And it's true. You talk about the good times. I don't ever come back saying, oh, my God, let me tell you how much money I lost.
That's right. Well, I see the statements, because if somebody does get a W-2G, if they win more than $1,200 or whatever in a casino, then they're going to have a tax statement, right? It's going to be reported. So I see the total when the losses come in that they get from the casinos that they go to, that shows what the ins and outs were, and it can be staggering sometimes. And I'm not being judgmental. If that's something you want to do, you can afford to do that. Hey, do it. But it is most likely true that somebody's going to lose more than they're going to win. How do you think?
100%.
Lights?
Yeah, look, I'm 100% honest here. That's me. I enjoy going to a casino, and it's relaxing to me, as weird as that sounds, to sit down at a blackjack table and feel the cards and feel the chips. That to me is a lot of fun, and I have a little bankroll, and I'm not dipping into Caroline's college fund, or I'm not dipping into our family bill pay. It's a little supplemental income I put to the side, and I know I'm going to lose. But I think with the right, what's the word I'm looking for? Discipline. I know I take so much, and I'm going to lose that much. The same way, I almost wish you could get these kind of same statements from Disney World, because you're going to take that amount to Disney, and it's like, can I not write this off as well? Because it ain't cheap to take the family to Disney World.
It isn't. Oh my gosh, we've been looking at a Disney cruise, and oh my goodness. I mean, I'm sure I've heard it's like the best of the best, but very, very expensive, even for a 2-year-old. So,
yeah,
it's per person period, but lots of great experiences, and that's really what we want to do with whatever we're doing, right? If you have fun, enjoy doing that. I mean, I like to shop. I mean, not everybody likes to go shopping, so we all have our mad money and our habits that we do, but it's just making sure that you have it in the budget, and it's not your lunch money, like you said.
That's right. 352-251-1015. One more from this article when it talks about who solo adults turn to for help or guidance with their finances. Only 18% admitted that they use professional help. And Jackie, why are adults so reluctant to make that phone call? I mean, we call a doctor if something doesn't feel right within our body. So how come if we look at our portfolio and something doesn't look right, why are we reluctant to pick up the phone and call you?
I honestly do believe that looking at patterns over the past 30 years, right? I think people are afraid. I think they're afraid they haven't done enough. I think they're afraid of being judged. I think they're, just worried about not knowing the right questions, not knowing how to answer questions that might be asked of them. But at Campbell Company, we are a no judge zone. Trust me, it's just like a doctor says they've seen it all. We've seen it all. We have seen everything imaginable, and every now and then I kind of do raise my eyebrow, and just that's just human nature, right? But
right.
It could be that you've done so well. It could be that you've had a business that you started in your garage and been really successful. It could be that you inherited money from someone that was a original shareholder from a major company that's on the stock exchange. I mean, there's all sorts of things. Could be your career that you had. There's so many interesting things that we all have, but that's the greatest thing I always recommend is, make sure that you don't think you're being judged. Whatever you have, wherever your GPS is from a financial perspective, savings perspective, planning perspective, it is what it is. We cannot go back and change that, but we absolutely can have that conversation, can have that meeting, and make changes from here. Prior planning pays. We can't go back and change the last 5, 10, 20, 30 years, but we can absolutely, sure as heck, change the next 10, 20, 30 years. And, I do find, Mark, that somebody will come in, they'll hear me on the radio, and they'll say, oh, I inherited money from an IRA from a relative, and I just need to know what to do with it. But their greatest worry is, how do I get it titled into my name? Do I take it all now as income? How does this 10-year rule work? How do I pay taxes on it? And it's more than just the taxes. It's more than just the titling of the account. It's all of it. It's how is that going to now blend and be melted in with your current puzzle? And that is what we can do differently. And that would be my recommendation to anyone listening that has one of these questions like, well, why haven't I made a phone call? Why haven't I I've been listening to Jackie for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years now, and she makes sense. I feel like I trust her, but why haven't I picked up the phone and made a call? And I really think that's it. Be open to looking at that 360 degree. Don't get so focused on that one or two thing that you think is the most important, because most of the time it isn't. I love helping people figure out their puzzle and asking them some really good questions. And I think that's it. Coming from a non-judgment position or seat is, how do I ask you the right questions to make sure I'm understanding your objectives and what you're trying to do? If we're sitting here 3 years from today, what would need to happen for you to personally and professionally feel satisfied with your results? Doesn't matter what I think. It's what do you think? What are you trying to achieve? Where are you trying to go? Are you trying to go to Disney? Are you trying to go on a family Vegas, vacation? What is that is most important to you? Let's figure out some of those confetti moments, what you're trying to achieve, those milestones, and let's see what we need to do to make them happen. That is exactly what we do at Campbell Company each and every day of the week. And we would love the opportunity to talk to you. And don't be afraid. That would be my greatest recommendation. I know we gave you a little bit of homework to gather your financial statements, gather your last 2 years of your tax returns. And some people say, why do you want to see my tax returns? Well, because we're licensed CPAs. We're licensed tax preparers and planners. And that tells a lot about your story. So don't be intimidated by those things. If you don't have it, we've got paraplanners. We've got a group that will help you get all of those things organized so we can truly get a good starting point for you. And it all starts with a phone call, 352-251-1015, or you can go online at mycampbellandco.com and just put right there in the middle of our website, where you asked to put in your name and your email address, your phone number, just put in the note. Just say, not sure where to start, but I need your help.
Now, the Beyond the Money tip of the day.
It's tax season, so if you haven't completed your tax return yet, you've got a little over a month to get that done or file an extension. And there really isn't anything wrong with filing an extension, but you don't have an extension of time to pay. You only have an extension of time to file. So make sure if you haven't gathered all your tax documents together that you're doing that. And as you're doing that tax return, if you're working with a tax preparer, that means someone who's working with last year's information. It's not planning as you move forward. So if you're looking for help with your tax return preparation and planning, most importantly, give us a call, 352-251-1015, or online at mycampbellandco.com. We have a great tax and accounting department that would be glad to help you.
And you can meet the team at mycampbellandco.com. Jackie and the team want to help you coordinate all parts of your financial life, one financial life, with the help of Jackie and the team at Campbell Company. Again, that number, 352-251-1015. It's the 360-degree retirement roadmap available exclusively this weekend from the team at Campbell Company. 352-251-1015. Jackie, as always, thank you. Thank you for the education and the information this weekend. If you want more, we invite you to stream the Beyond the Money podcast. You can find it at the homepage of mycampbellandco.com. This weekend show, plus a full archive of shows, specialty shows, celebrity interviews, and much more, all commercial free. Find it at mycampbellandco.com. We're back next weekend, but before we get out of here, Jackie Campbell, let's give you the final word.
Thank you for listening, and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy this beautiful spring weather that we have. And if you are looking for clarity, confidence, and direction in your 360-degree retirement roadmap, give us a call. We'd love the opportunity to talk with you and see how we can help. 352-251-1015, or you can go online at mycampbellandco.com. This is Jackie Campbell, Certified Financial Planner and Certified Public Accountant, Campbell Company Wealth Advisors and CPAs. Join us again next time on Beyond the Money Radio and the Beyond the Money podcast.